And because I didn't actually print out all of the bios for everybody, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself.
You can read it if you want.
You want me to read your bio
I
for
happen
you?
to still have it at the top.
Okay.
At the top.
Okay. I'm going to read her bio for you. So Nicole has been competing since 2001, started figure in 2004, earned her first pro card in 2005. She's been around for a long time. She's been a pro for 11 years. She's competed in the DFAC, the IFPA, NGA, WNBF, USBF, and the NPC. So all that organization soup she's competed in. She's competed in, this number amazed me, and I've known Nicole for a long, long time. She's competed in 32 pro shows. Wow. So 32 pro shows. That includes 9 wins, that's first place, 24 top 3 finishes. That is pretty amazing right there for Ms. Nicole. She is the 3-time Pennsylvania Pro Champion. She's been a judge for 8 years with the DFAC, IFPA, NGA, and AMBF. She's worked for 9 years as a personal trainer and figure coach. She has a degree in psychology, a master's degree in social work. She's smart and hot, and has a second bachelor's degree in dietetics. She is a wife, and she is the mother of a gorgeous 5-year-old Mia, and you will get to see pictures of Mia, and she absolutely is gorgeous. So I'm going to have my friend Nicole come on up here.
Yeah. I guess I'll talk from this side today.
All right. So hit this down button when you want to.
Okay.
Right, there you go. There's Mia.
Wow. Yeah, that's Mia. She has lived with us for 2 years. We finalized the adoption last June. And people swear we look alike. We both have green eyes. She's an absolute rock star. She has definitely changed my life. That's a great picture of her. This is more what I get to deal with.
She's a diva in training.
Yeah, it's the diva ridiculousness, cuteness. So, and she was like on her own little runway through the grocery store. So, and she's been to competitions with us. That's my husband, Chet. So he won, that was the DFAC Midwest Pro out in Ohio. I got first in pro figure. He got first in novice. That was his first year competing, his second show, because he really wanted to qualify to go to the World Finals in Miami for the DFAC. So that got him eligibility to go down to Miami and do the amateur World Finals. And his trophy is about as tall as our daughter. So she loves being backstage. She loves all the bling. She's just awestruck. She's like, "Mommy, will you make me a bikini? Can I get out on stage with you?" So, it's been a while since I've spoken, so I actually wrote it out because I can get a little wordy. But I wanted to talk today about a couple of things. One of them is challenges and setbacks. You have challenges and obstacles, adversity and setbacks. These are all things that kind of play into everybody getting ready to compete. There's things that come up, roadblocks that get in the way. Setbacks are inevitable. Losses are inevitable. It's what you do with that setback that makes the difference. You have to recommit. You have to get back up on that horse and ride it. I don't recommend eating your emotions and drowning in your sorrows and waiting months before you recommit. Just do it as soon as possible because, stuff happens and you just got to deal with it. Things don't always go perfectly, so just pick up where you left off. Adversity, though, is an obstacle that is there right at the start. Some examples of adversity might be a disability, a nagging injury, something about the way that God made you that doesn't exactly make you an ideal criteria candidate for our sport, such as metabolism or something that's asymmetrical in your musculature or your structure. It could also be your financial status or lack of access to proper training equipment or time constraints due to job and family. This was a huge one for me this last year because the world, my time was my time. I was a personal trainer. I lived in the gym, had my six-pack bag. I could plan clients around my meals if I wanted to. And then little Mia came into our lives. I can't have children, so it was kind of like the opportunity presented itself. We jumped on it. Can't work as a personal trainer. There's no benefits, so Mommy had to get a full-time job. I fly a desk now, and I punch a time clock, and it's different now. Now I have a little girl to get to school, or in the beginning it was daycare. My whole world turned upside down. So you just have to make it work. You adapt. So I wake up earlier, I train later, do what I got to do. Let's see. Let me tell you a story. Does anybody know who Misty Copeland is? Who knows who Misty is? Raise hands. Okay. Misty is just awesome. Misty Copeland, she does ballet. I like Misty as an example because she is in a subjective sport or activity, much like what we do. In bodybuilding is subjective, it's judged. She's judged on not only the way her body looks, the length of her arms, the length of her legs, the turnout of her hips, her feet, but also how she presents herself, the way that she dances, not just technically, but artistically. Misty didn't start ballet until she was 13. She started training at a free ballet class at a Boys and Girls Club in California. She is the product of a broken home. She's one of 6 kids, single mom, and she dealt with family issues between staying with her mother and becoming emancipated, where she would be an adult, let's say, at the age of 16. But she loved ballet. She worked hard, probably even harder than her classmates. And did I mention that Misty is also multiracial? In ballet, there aren't many black, multi-ethnic girls that do ballet, and fewer in professional ballet. Being the only black ballerina in the dance company, she felt very isolated. She joined the American Ballet Theater in 2000. She dealt with a lot of pressure of aesthetics because she doesn't exactly look like our typical waif-thin ballerina. She has broader shoulders, broader hips. She's quite muscular. I mean, I'm just going to sit here and look at Misty for a while. During her stint with the American Ballet Company, she had a lower lumbar fracture the first year. She had a lot of pressure to change the way that her physique looks, which resulted in a binge eating disorder. There's a story, you can probably find it on YouTube, and there's also a movie about her life where she used to have Krispy Kreme donuts delivered to her apartment. They would only deliver to corporate offices, so they would ask her, are you a company? She's like, oh yeah, I'm a company. Can I have a dozen donuts? Oh, we only do 2 dozen. Okay. And she would proceed to eat 2 dozen donuts in one sitting. Then in 2004, she also had the chance to meet her father for the first time. So as you can see, Misty endured several obstacles and adversity, both when she started ballet and during her progression to where she is now. Last June, at the age of 32, she became the first black woman to become a principal dancer at the American Ballet Theater in its 75 years of inception. Just check out her calves. I can sit there just, oh my goodness. Is there a way to click?
You want that movie?
Yeah. So we're going to watch a little bit of Misty. This is the Under Armour ad that she did for them.
Sound has decided not to come on.
You lack the right feet, Achilles tendons.
This is one of her denial letters that she's reading.
And bust.
It's being read.
You have the wrong body for ballet. And at 13, you are too old to be considered.
So as you can see, that was a denial letter that she got at the age of 13. Now, if she would have taken that, let's call it judge's feedback. If she were to take that judge's feedback and take it for what it's worth, we probably wouldn't have been graced on this earth with something, as beautiful and artistic as Misty Copeland is on stage. But she stuck with it. She believed. She had to believe in herself. Other people believed in her. Her teachers believed in her. She was considered a prodigy, but again, she was different. But she brought out her best for her body, her art, and because she brought out the best that was her, she's at the top in ballet. Now, the adversities and the obstacles that we run into doesn't, it's an example of, it doesn't make our dreams impossible. It just means we got to work a little harder. You're in the driver's seat. No one can do the work for you. You've got to be creative. You've got to be honest. And you've got to be tenacious. You've got to be driven and motivated and just don't quit. Most of us, if not all of us, have something about us that makes us less than cookie cutter or ideal about this sport. Most of us didn't start from day one looking like the amateur versions of Nicole Wilkins, Oksana Grishina, Nicole Sipos, who's the current WNBF World Champion, DFAC World Champion, Patricia Payne in women's bodybuilding, Alex Ellis, or Philip Ricardo Jr. for the guys. Where the path to championship potential is pretty clearly defined. When you look at them, probably as amateurs, you saw the potential in them. Not everybody's like, the genetic freaks that Tina mentions. The truth is most of us have a muscle group that requires more attention, something that needs to be worked on a little more, some kind of adaptive training technique to overcome a joint that doesn't articulate or move quite right. So, you got to get to the drawing board. You got to figure out what you can do. Go to the University of Google and Bing, and you become the expert for what is your issue and how you're going to overcome it, and think outside the box and create the movement. If you can't do squats, you're going to do more leg extension. If you can't do leg extension, you're going to do something else. Same thing. People have shoulder problems. You can't do lat pull downs, and I guess you're going to do more rows. You know what I mean? So when it comes to money and time as an issue, again, you got to be creativity. If you got to wake up earlier, you got to, train afterward, go to bed a little later, or you have to do both. Sometimes you got to chop up your workout that much. If you get a lunch break, you're working out on your lunch break, you're taking advantage of it. You do what you need to do to get the job done. Your training split might be a little, wacky, but, that's okay. There's no one perfect way to train to get the results that you're going to need to do what you want to do and realize your goals. The body will adapt. Oh, I'm too tired. I don't want to wake up at 4:45. 4:30. What time are you?
4.
4. Yeah, I worry. I wake up at sometimes 4:45, 5, and if I don't see Tina's picture on the Facebook site, I'm like, what's wrong? Where's Tina?
She's dead.
So, money problems, yeah, on there. Sometimes it's actually kind of embarrassing. I feel like I'm like the token poor kid on the team when I compete. And I've been doing it for a long time, but it's an expensive sport. Instead of flying, I've driven, I've stayed in the Roach motels, I've borrowed suits, not even buying used ones, I've borrowed ones before. But again, it's a matter of being creative and making work, and you don't have to spend tons of money. You can find those shortcuts. Talk to our girl over here, Shar, and she'll talk to you about budget stuff. Same thing, with access to fitness equipment. Okay, so yeah, you may have to suffer with the Planet Fitness membership. Just don't grunt too loud, because what is it, $10 a month? You can start a gym in your house. Starts with a couple dumbbells and a resistor band. Go to Craigslist. It's great because a lot of those people who buy stuff and get stuff over Christmas or the first of the year ends up not getting used. So they put it up for sale on Craigslist, and people that are dedicated like us take advantage of it. I have a home gym. Let's see if I can get this. My husband built it out for us one Christmas, couple Christmases ago. And everything in here is from Craigslist. So, not too much, just piece by piece. And same thing with food. Sometimes you're not going to eat chicken breast and steak all the time. You know, eggs are cheap.
And tuna.
You know, tuna's cheap. You know, you're going to meet your macros with a lot of eggs. You might get egg parts, but, you know, you're going to get the job done. So, and be honest with yourself about your abilities and shortcomings. Think big, but be honest. If you aren't sure about where you're at and where you're going to be, then ask somebody you trust. You know, ask a coach, you know, to kind of assess, you know, are your goals possible in 6 months, a year, maybe next year? Is the genetic potential there if you put in the hard work? And be tenacious. The truth of the matter is, just like real life, the world does not care what you have to overcome to reach your goals. Your competition is training his or her ass off right now. When you're wanting to sleep in, they've got their sneakers tied. When you don't feel like doing meal prep, they've got the Tupperware lined up.
So if they're doing bikini, they're still working their ass off.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Who let you in?
So, they may be the picture of perfect athleticism and strength in the gym, but if it takes you 3 extra sets to warm up with baby weight and to stretch, you do it. So you just got to do what you have to do to make it all work. Now I want to talk about what it really takes to win, to be like that ideal, you know, where we all want to be. You know, we want the pro card, we want the titles. What is it like, you know, to strive for, you know, like longevity in the sport? And I know we've talked a lot about balance in life, but there is a degree of obsession with what we do. I'm being honest, just for me. You know, I don't know. I mean, I would say Philip could probably say the same thing. There's obsession involved with it, and there is the life balance that we also have to deal with. Sometimes some of us, one of the gifts that we're giving is we have support around us that is okay with what we do, you know, as long as we reciprocate in kind. But there's a really good quote. It's from a book called How to Be a Pop Star. No, I haven't read it, but the quote was really good by Madison Moore. It says, "What makes successful people successful is not just that they take bold or even strange risks. It's not that they go against the grain or that they work harder or do things better than everyone else. What makes people succeed is obsession. Successful people make it because they find their passion and become obsessed with it." But I will say that one of the other, probably this would be second only to the number one reason, or I should say the number one way to be a champ, to be a winner, is bring the best you to the stage. When I say that, all that criteria that you hear are really just guidelines. The judges have a hard enough time trying to articulate those guidelines when they give you feedback. It's even harder to kind of look at the competitors on stage and follow those guidelines. But honestly, one thing in 11 years of competing, because even to this day things still boggle my mind why some people win when it seems that they really don't even kind of fit the criteria, is that when the judges say, or when anyone says, well, they were the best physique on stage that day, what they're saying is to certain elite competitors is that there really wasn't anything else that could be improved on. They took their genetic potential and they ran with it. They did everything they possibly could to bring out their best physiques, their best polished presentation. Everything was flawless. So if your gimmick is your lats, you work the lats. If you have great legs, let them be great legs. I almost want to say, don't let anyone say something is like, almost like too big. You know, it's almost like a lot of the elites in our sport have something gimmicky about them. One easy one is, if anybody knows who Doug Miller is those legs. When you think about it, his legs are so damn big, they're actually asymmetrical to the rest of his body when you think about guidelines of bodybuilding, but damn, they look good. You know what I mean? So there's certain things about people that they just took their genetic potential and they ran with it, and it looks great for their structure of their body. So if there's something that you like about you, go for it. Don't hide it on stage. Because I'll tell you, when you're up on stage and you look like you're not comfortable with who you are and the way your body looks, the judges will see it. I will see it. I've judged it and I see it. People look, and there's a difference between being nervous and feeling like you're just not feeling right in your skin up on stage. So you got to look at yourself in the mirror. Michelangelo created David. Considered perfection of physique, the sculpture of the human physique. When asked how he created David out of a block of marble, he said, "I chipped away all that was not David." I'm just going to sit here and look at David's ass for a minute. So I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, assess your lifestyle, assess your thoughts, assess the people in your life, your friends, whoever you associate or surround yourself with, who you give up power to, and who you leech power from, where you will never grow up and stand on your own. Chip away all that is not you. The highest potential of you is within you. Just like David was in the marble, that big square block of marble, your highest potential is within you. Chip away all the vices, the bad judgments, the judgments from others about your body and your life, the things that you carry like a ball and chain, the negative thoughts that consume you. I want you to chip away all that is not you, both your physique and in your mind. So I'll leave you with a few transformation pics.
Aww.
That was me.
Look how cute you were. Is that your body for life picture?
Yeah, that's my body for life picture, August 14th, 1999. That was my first competition. Off the rack suit, silver shoes. That was, I did the women's tri-fitness is what I started with, which was an obstacle course and physique and fitness routine all rolled up in one. So that was 1 year between the two. That was just the education that I got from that one competition. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I never make it through a single seminar without crying. Nicole almost got me. I'm not there yet. I'm sure I will. If I tried to follow this with, any one of the stories that I have, but I probably will cry, so maybe I should try to break myself now. I have 5 minutes. So, what Nicole is saying rings absolutely true. So I am, while you're all here and, you're here to learn about bodybuilding and competing and metabolism and all of that fun stuff. So one of the other things that I'm very passionate about is ensuring that other people are out there living their dreams and following their passion, right? So whether it's competing, getting your personal training certification, helping others, whatever it is, you have to do that. So I'm going to share with you that, so I'm a federal government employee. I have a cushy job. I make a lot of money. I get good benefits.
I'm not there yet.
And I've been doing that for a long time. But when I started coaching, I realized very, very quickly that this is what I was meant to do, and that coaching was my passion in life. And so I've been struggling for years because what started as a part-time hobby for me became a full-time business where we do these seminars, we promote shows, we have hundreds of clients, and I do this as a full-time job for me now. And I still work full-time. And I have an 11-year-old. And sometimes my husband gets a little bit of attention every once in a while because everything else, I have no friends outside of this industry because this is where I spend all of my time. And this is not a complaint because I've met some amazing people in this industry. But what I realized is that when you have something that you're so passionate about, there is nothing else that matters and there is nothing else that should ever get in your way of following that. And so this September, I am leaving the federal government. And And my husband's like, and this is what I'm going to do. And is it going to strap us monetarily?
Where does she work?
Yep. You know,
In federal
but
government.
you can't, I'm 42 years old. I can't go another 40 years of my life just doing the safe thing and doing what it is
I like
that
my
I'm
job better.
supposed to do because society tells me that's what I'm supposed to do. Every time I look at somebody and tell them I'm leaving the government, they're
I'd
like,
rather
oh my
work
God,
for
that's so
Social
amazing. I'm
Security.
like, are you fucking crazy? Right? I've lived the safe life. I've done the safe thing. I've done the right thing. And so now it's time to reach out and kind of follow your passion. And what I have really enjoyed doing with our clients over the years is helping them follow theirs. I love watching this sport transform people, not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, you name it. I watch them grow. I've watched clients start their own businesses. I've watched Jillian, who I just met, a little over a year ago, and now she is following her dream, and I'm watching her blossom. And Shar is doing the same thing. This industry will give back to you what you give to it. There is so much you can learn from the people you meet, and so much you can get out of the strength, the perseverance, the things that you learn from the journey to the stage. It's more than chicken in the gym and cardio. It's more than that. You're going to face some really, really, really tough challenges. It's going to be hard, and you're going to learn about yourself through the process. If you let that happen, you will find it's an absolutely amazing experience that you will carry on into every other aspect of your life. I have been very successful in the federal government. I never earned my college degree, and I'm a senior level GS-14 because I worked my ass off to do that, okay? So there is nothing that is impossible if you continue to push for that thing that you want, okay? And you have to go through the experiences, and you have to go through the really hard stuff, and stuff's going to suck, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to cry, and you're going to eat Pop-Tarts.
And run them over.
And then run them over with your car. And spit them out in the trash, and then eat pizza out of the trash. But anyway, so I digress. But those things are going to happen. What I urge you to do is not look at this sport as a means to be the next cover model on Oxygen. That's great. Good luck to you if that's your only goal. To earn a pro card, you're never going to make a living at this unless you're willing to make some serious, serious sacrifices. Competing is not going to be your job. Okay, you're not going to make a living off of it. You have to learn from the experience. It is more than getting lean for the stage. I guarantee you, if you let the process, if you really, truly let the process happen and watch what happens with yourself as you go through it, it will expand every aspect of your life. And that's the thing that I like to impose upon people. It's the emotional aspect. All you see on Facebook is like, oh, the hot bodies, and everybody's on stage, and it looks all, it's fun. But nobody talks about the journey part of it, the part that really, that you can really learn from. Some people, all they care about is the fame and fortune. And that's good. They can go that direction. If you're not concerned about learning about yourself and all of those things, that's cool, right? Then this isn't, for you. But I urge you to really learn from what you do in this process, whether you decide to compete or not. Take away from this seminar today just that. You really have to go exactly what Nicole was saying. You have to be tenacious. You have to go for what you want. You can't always play it safe. And you just have to absolutely continue to learn from your journey because it's never going to end. Cool? You guys good? All right, enough sappy stuff. We're going to get